Should I do it or not? All right, I'm in trouble when I get home, but that's okay. What the hell? I've been in lots of trouble before. But no, you look at the weightlifting where 18 years it stands, and they have this young woman, and her parents are right where you are in the front row, and they're so proud of her, and it's like 209 pounds, and she's going to lift that. The record stood for 18, think of it, 18 years, and they put 1/8 of an ounce here, and 1/8 of an ounce here, little bit, and she's going to do it. Mom, I love you. I'm going to do it for you, Mom. And she goes, and she lifts, and she gets it. And, Mom, I'm going to do it, Mom. Can't do it. And then a guy comes along, or a gal, or whatever. 206 pounds. They put the little thing on, and he goes, Mom. And breaks the record like by 119 pounds.
Trump is on the Epstein list?
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public.
Elon went crazy?
From CNBC, Trump says Elon Musk went crazy.
These are just a few of the accusations between the world's most powerful man and the world's richest man. You won't want to miss the fight heard around the world with Elon Musk versus Donald Trump. Stay tuned. This is the Vasquez Report. Apparently, this all started from the big, beautiful bill and how much pork was in it. Elon didn't like that one bit, and he let it be known. Let's see Fox News correspondents talk about this issue and how was the genesis for exactly what happened between Trump and Musk.
Now, the big, beautiful bill, now he's got a beef with it. These are the things that Trump ran on and won on. Wall, ice skies so you could do mass deportations, military, F-35 ships, pay raises for the troops, and tax relief for everybody, no tax on tips. These are the things that won him the election. He didn't run on balancing the budget.
Yeah.
So this is the priority right now. You have 4 years to balance the budget. Yeah, there's a lot of pork in this thing. There's always a little pork. All right. But this is not a spending bill. This is the signature piece of Donald Trump's second term. This may be the last major piece of legislation Trump ever passes. Well, he might have 3 terms, but for now we're saying this is it. Now, I don't like the fact that he said that he won the election. This guy got shot, popped back right up. Exactly. He won all the swing states. He was always ahead in the polls. The money was great. Trust me, the money helped. Thank you, Elon Musk. But if money wins elections, Kamala should have coasted. She had twice the cash. And if money wins elections, then Elon should have been able to win those seats in Wisconsin.
Here is Trump in front of reporters talking about Elon. Listen to what he says and then see if you can catch exactly what he thinks that Elon's problem is.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here. And he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate. I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. He actually went up in campaign for me. I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
Notice how he said that when people leave the administration, they sometimes either embrace it or they lash back out at Trump. Apparently, this was the case with Elon. I wonder exactly what it was that set him off besides the big, beautiful bill, because it seems like it was more than that to me. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section. Apparently, this had something to do also with the NASA job, the NASA administrator position, according to Megyn Kelly.
The thing that set it off is really the question. What actually set this thing off? And I don't think it was the big, beautiful bill. I think the thing that actually set this off...
The NASA guy?
I think it was the NASA guy. I think the firing of Jared Isaacman at NASA was the thing that really set that off. And that is a tactical mistake by the Office of Personnel Management. It really is. I mean, like the idea that...
They tried to needle. Just set it up for the audience because we haven't talked about it yet.
Sure. So Jared Isaacman is a billionaire space entrepreneur who was nominated for the NASA administrator while Elon was in the administration. And he's a very close friend of Elon. And Elon, obviously, if I'm gonna decide who I want picking the NASA administrator, Elon actually is the person I'm going to ask. He's legitimately...
Yeah, he's got some expertise there.
Yes, I mean, he's the person who knows what he's doing. And Isaacman last week, right after Elon left the administration and had started fighting with the president over the big, beautiful bill, right after that, Isaacman, his nomination was withdrawn by President Trump, presumably at the behest of the Office of Personnel Management, which I believe is run by Sergio Gore. And the sort of idea that was put forth was that Isaacman had to be withdrawn because he had Democratic donations. Now, first of all, that would have been super easy for them to figure out when he was first nominated, right? He was nominated weeks in advance. It wasn't as though this happened within 24 hours. They knew that all along. What that really was a way of needling Elon and kind of slapping Elon like he's out the door and he's mouthing off. And so we're going to take your friend and we're going to throw him out of a third-story window. And I think Elon reacted very strongly to that. And that I get. I don't agree with the way that Elon went about his sort of revenge tour against the president. And I disagree again with like the Epstein thing, as you say, is pretty ridiculous. I mean, first of all, the idea that Democrats who had access to all the Epstein files would have sat on information that Donald Trump was pedophilically assaulting children on Epstein Island. Can you imagine? Like Joe Biden is sitting there, he's got that info and they don't release it. Yeah, no way in hell. Somehow President Trump's IRS records are out there. I mean, it's an absurdity.
Is there any truth to the rumor that Trump is on the Epstein list? There's a video of him in 1992 with Epstein, and then there's also this episode of the PBD Podcast where they go into more detail about it. Let's look at both videos together.
The Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention. Footage shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great.
After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein. More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter.
Massive bomb was dropped just an hour and a half ago or 2 hours ago on Twitter that led to a bunch of different things. Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. This thing gets 581,000 likes, 212,000 retweets, 100+ thousand comments, 49 million views in an hour and a half, 2 hours.
One thing I took away, because the biggest thing, okay, you could beef, you could talk crap, go back and forth, the bill. I get it. If you're saying that Trump is on Epstein's list, you're basically indirectly saying that Donald Trump is a pedophile. If that's true in your mind and he's on that list and that's the only reason, then you knowingly, Elon, are hanging out with a pedophile. You got this pedophile basically in as president. You put $250 million in, so you backed him. You let your child X hang out with them alone. I remember when they were walking on the lawn to go to Marine One. So if that's the case, you're a complete hypocrite.
If you get value from this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss these regular updates. It really helps out the channel. Also, support the channel. Buy us a cup of coffee. Anything that you donate is deeply appreciated. Is Elon accusing Trump of what he did? Is it projection? Is there a connection between Epstein and Elon? Those on the PBD podcast seem to think so. Let's hear one of them talk about it, right?
Whitney Webb, we've had her on a couple times. She's written some of the most interesting books that talks about technocracy. She doesn't even live in the States, but some of the stuff she says gets picked up, and it's very, very interesting. And when you do some research, what is in this clip here, Brandon?
So this is the first time I've ever heard Epstein be associated with Elon Musk. She says something I've never heard before about a reason why the Justice Department might not have been releasing certain things about Epstein and JP Morgan that were subpoenaed.
Okay, go for it, Rob.
Virgin Islands, because there was this case involving the U.S. Virgin Islands and JP Morgan as it related to Epstein. And that case got settled out of court, so it didn't go to trial. But I believe those documents would be very, very, very telling. But I would argue the reason they won't come out is because one of the people subpoenaed as part of that investigation was Elon Musk.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't necessarily accused of wrongdoing, but was subpoenaed because he was suspected of having had some sort of involvement with Epstein and JP Morgan. And there are allegations, of course, not really allegations, but, it was reported, before Musk was closely affiliated with Trump that Epstein had been advising Tesla and was part of this effort in 2018 to take Tesla private. With Gulf oil money or Saudi money. And at the time, Epstein was advising Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, and was also known to have a close relationship with the elite families of the United Arab Emirates, and also Kuwait, and I think Bahrain as well. So perhaps they don't want to have that really be explored at this point. But some of the other figures that were...
Was she talking about Epstein here? All those people, all those relationships?
Epstein
and
Elon
Musk.
as
She
well.
was saying that Epstein was advising Musk on how to take Tesla private.
But all those other relationships, Mohammed bin Salman, Bahrain.
Epstein was like,
Jesus, this guy Epstein goes deep.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any truth to it. If that were the case, I think Democrats would have dug up some dirt on him a long time ago. They already tried to throw him in jail and unalive him, allegedly. So if they had some dirt on him being on the Epstein list, they would have revealed it already, in my opinion. Was Elon Musk on prescription medication? Was he on ketamine? Did his Asperger syndrome that he allegedly has trigger his tirade? Did he suffer from extreme stress? What was the reason that Elon flied off the handle and just went crazy, according to President Trump? Let's see what Tim Cass IRL had to say on the subject.
From CNBC, Trump says Elon Musk went crazy, suggests cutting government contracts for his companies. He lashed out saying he was crazy, blah, blah, we get it. Do they have the actual quote? Let's see. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts, Trump wrote in a Truth Social post. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Musk promptly responded, go ahead, make my day. This is awesome because it's like celebrity, politics, pop culture all rolled up in one drama. Like, this is what every housewife, suburban housewife, wanted to watch on TV when they were watching like the Jersey Housewives or whatever that show was.
Villain for them.
Exactly.
They're throwing drinks.
Yeah.
Slinging champagne.
I think Elon and Trump are both very similar in that, like, they're petty, Trump, he makes fun of people and he roasts them.
Yeah. But has Trump ever faced an autistic person before? Someone like Elon Musk, because I think if he genuinely feels hurt or whatever's going on with him, he took it 0 to a million, quick.
Yeah.
And I would expect that from
it's funny
an autistic person like Elon Musk. But
now that we've explored the pettiness of Elon and why that might be a factor, along with the Asperger syndrome portion of it, let's now talk about the ketamine suspicion and why that might be a driving factor between the feud with Trump and Elon Musk.
Seriously entertaining, I've got to say. I could not tear myself away from X, Elon's platform, ironically, because he has made a massive miscalculation here. I think I don't know what he was on. It's been speculated. Perhaps ketamine tweets may have been at work. But
on Sky News Australia, they speak about the origin of Elon's black eye during the acceptance of the golden key from Trump. Apparently, he had a dust-up with the Treasury Secretary. It's just a rumor. Let's see him talk about it right here.
joining me now is host of the Power Hour, available across Sky News Australia's digital platforms, Gabriella Power. Gab, let's start with allegations made by a former advisor to Donald Trump about Elon Musk. He claims that Elon shoulder-charged Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent after a war of words turned physical just metres from the Oval Office. Gab, what else can you tell us about these allegations?
Oh my gosh. Well, Elon Musk just keeps bringing so much drama to the White House. But as you say, this is really interesting because this is coming from Steve Bannon, a former advisor to Trump. And he has told the Washington Post that essentially Elon Musk and Scott Bessent got into a physical altercation back in April. So Scott Bessent and Elon Musk were pitching strategies around the IRS to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was apparently backing Bessent. And Elon Musk was not having any of it. And allegedly treated Scott Bessent like a rugby player and put a shoulder into his rib. And the two of them had to actually get torn apart by other people that were in the room. So who knows what Elon Musk was actually on at this point in time. But Elon Musk is quickly learning how politics works, and that is not how you handle a disagreement.
That's what former Trump aide Steve Bannon said. But let's see what Elon said the origin of his black eye was.
Ask quickly, Mr. Musk, what is your eye okay? What happened to your eye? I noticed there's a bruise there.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't anywhere near France, so. But
what does that mean?
No,
I didn't notice his eye.
First lady of France.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, no, I was just horsing around with little X, and I said, "Go ahead, punch me in the face," and he did. Turns out, even a 5-year-old punching you in the face actually does.
That was X that did it? X could do it. If you knew X, he
I
could
saw his
do
mom
it.
right now. But I didn't really feel much at the time, and then I guess it bruises up. But I was just horsing around with the kids.
I didn't
basically.
notice it, actually.
Jesse Waters seems to think that they're just blowing off steam and that eventually things will come to pass and that they'll be friends or at least cordial with each other at some point. Let's see what he says.
Sometimes when you're angry, you say things you don't mean. Greg mocked my hair last week, and I said he's on the Epstein list.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't mean that. I made it up.
How did you know, though?
How did Musk know? No one knows what the list is. He didn't know. But sometimes guys fight. Guys sometimes will punch you in the face, and the next night you're having a beer. Sleep with your girlfriend, and you patch things up.
Really?
Not your wife, your girlfriend.
Who are your friends?
Yeah. No one slept with my girlfriend, let's put it that way.
Oh, my word.
These guys are like roommates. They were living in close quarters for like the first 6 months of the year. They're just blowing off steam. Okay. The issue is donor maintenance. This guy's the mega donor. So you don't want him accusing you of being a pedophile, and you don't want him calling for your impeachment. I hope he doesn't mean that, but maybe they can patch things up. I mean, Vance called Trump Hitler, and he's on the ticket. My issue is that the media said that Musk was the co-president. He doesn't look like the co-president anymore. The media said Trump was doing favors for Elon Musk. Well, if you look at this big, beautiful bill, there's no favors for Elon Musk in it at all. So Trump so far has taken the high road. I think Elon right now, think about it.
Yes.
I thought he was going to call him a drug addict about an hour ago. He hasn't called him that yet.
Let's see.
I think Trump should just take the high road, let Elon blow off some steam. They're both powerful men, great men, and they'll patch it up.
Greg Gutfeld from The Five echoed that same sentiment when he said, "Shut up, fucker." Greg Gutfeld from The Five echoes that same sentiment when he said he didn't want to see Elon or Trump fighting with each other and how it's not good for the country. It's not good for the morale of the Republican Party. It's not good for anybody. Let's see his thoughts on it.
Greg,
Yes.
where are you going with this?
Well, I think what you're seeing is a battle between the purist and the pragmatist. I don't like it. I want it to stop. I want to tell them if they're both watching, knock it off. We're done with this. This is an incredible moment for our country. It's awake. It's optimistic. It's on board with the golden age. Don't sabotage it with a self-inflicted feud. You know, don't let the Dems get back up from the floor where they belong. You know, you got two really successful people, billionaires, and they both, I guess, have egos, but they also have different ways of seeing things. The great thing about this is we all see it. This is an incredibly transparent administration. This isn't a bug in the system. This is the system. So I want you to compare this system to the one, you know, that ended in 2020. Would you take a forceful president and a billionaire publicly feuding in public, you know, over an invalid president, you know, who was kept hidden from the public, leaving the country without a leader? So I'll take this any day. At least I know what's going on and I can somewhat enjoy it, but I want him to stop. I've had it. This is like, it's like I don't want to see my parents fighting. I just want them to get back to, I like Batman and Robin. I don't like spy versus spy.
Is there any hope for peace between Elon and Trump? It seems as though that's the case since he de-escalated things on his own, according to Ben Johnson. Here goes the Benny Show, proving that Elon's trying his best to de-escalate the situation.
We freaking go. Now, Kith has been the meme that everybody has been posting ever since Elon Musk started to, let's just say, dial it back quite a bit. You'll recall the most important news cycle last week was that Elon Musk had a hard and pretty savage break with President Trump and then went on and what can only be considered a tirade against the president online, accusing him of being on the Epstein list, saying he's going to decommission his spacecraft and not let the military use them, and that he's going to call for an impeachment of Donald Trump, and that JD Vance should be president. That's, I mean, patently crazy given the fact that you just left the administration like a few days ago, like a few hours ago. Donald Trump was giving you the key to the White House. Well, the key to Donald Trump's heart may well be deleting these tweets because now, President Trump and Elon Musk are singing a very different tune, or maybe they just have very much a common enemy that they realize that they must fight together. Here we go. Elon Musk has deleted all the slanderous tweets against President Trump. Elon Musk has done so after JD Vance, who is very close with Elon and who's in sort of the same ecosystem and network as Elon, publicly savaged him and said, I think that is a huge mistake for Elon to go after the president like that. And I think that if he and the president are in some blood feud, the most importantly, it's going to be bad for the country. I don't think it's going to be good for Elon either. You know, it is honestly bad for the country. It's good to recognize that, like, this is what happens when strong men like Elon Musk, who's a very strong and very successful, and we like Elon Musk a lot, right? Like, this is what happens when strong and successful men abandon their post and do nothing. This is what society will become. Guaranteed. It's always been like that. It will always be like that. These are the destroyers. These are the weak men. Donald Trump and Elon Musk make a stronger America together. We've said it. We said it before, and we are simply echoing what JD Vance is saying right here. And he's right, ladies and gentlemen. Now Elon Musk has started to repost JD Vance. JD Vance posting about Donald Trump and his Truth Social, but it gets better. Elon Musk has refollowed Stephen Miller. Again, this is very important. He unfollowed Stephen Miller. And President Trump is wishing Elon Musk well and saying very nice things about him at the White House again. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk responding with this, with a heart to our great ALX and ALX. Our executive producer responding with the huggy emoji. So there you go. Very important. What did President Trump say about Elon Musk? Let's listen.
Musk, do you plan to speak to him on the phone anytime soon?
I haven't really thought about it, actually. I would imagine he wants to speak to me. I would think so. If I were him, I'd want to speak to me, and maybe he's already called. You'd have to ask him whether or not he's already called. But I'd have no problem with it.
If he calls you, pick up and speak to him?
Well, I don't want to say that, but I would imagine he'd want to talk to me.
Will Donald Trump sell his Tesla? That was a news cycle.
Get rid of the Tesla and the Starlink service that you have here at the White House?
No, I haven't heard that. I mean, I may move the Tesla around a little bit, but I don't think we'll be doing that with Starlink. It's a good service.
Where are you going to move it to? Move it around. What do you mean?
I have a lot of locations.
Actually, about the Tesla.
I got so many locations, I don't know what to do with them all.
About the Tesla, did you ever see Elon Musk get physical with the Treasury Secretary?
No, I didn't.
And I tried to ask.
They did have an argument, but I didn't see a lot of physicality there.
And there was this New York Times report that he did not want to talk about, Elon Musk, that alleged that he, towards the end of his time in the White House, was blurring the lines between recreational use of drugs and medicinal. Do you think he ever had drugs here at the White House?
I really don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. Look, I wish him well. You understand. We had a good relationship, and I just wish him well. Very well, actually. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump taking a very different tone than Elon or Donald Trump did just a couple of days ago.
Me personally, I don't think them feuding is good for the country. I don't think it's good for Elon or Trump. I don't think it's good for Tesla, SpaceX, NASA, the Republican Party. I don't think it's good for the whole country to see the most powerful man and the most richest man fighting over something so minuscule. That's my opinion. Let me know how you feel about it. Which brings me to the questions of this video. Do you feel as though Elon and Trump will ever make up and have a cordial relationship with each other? Do you feel like they can recover from this feud? Do you feel as though Elon crossed the line when he mentioned the Epstein files stuff? Let me know how you feel about these questions in the comment section below. In case you missed it, the FBI stopped a bioterrorism attack against the United States food supply. If you missed that, there's a full breakdown in this video right here.